أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this video, I am going to demonstrate what is meant by sending Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a message to mankind. This is from the root that he claimed not to come with a newfangled doctrine. When he was approached, change it. He said, I am not the one, I don't have the power, I don't have the intention to change it. In attabi'u, truly speaking, if you see me in the manner I walk, I do everything, I have no hand in creating me and sending me as the last messenger and the prophet. I just follow what you know vividly, that I never knew how to write and how to read. So how are you going to say, I am a usurper, I am a liar, I came to snatch your responsibility, authority? We heard what the French government has said. Muslim meeting, council and the forum, Muslim council forum meeting. We have to accept it in the manner Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted the Sunnah of, or the written and the oral law of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. They are inviting us, or proving that Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is sent as a message to mankind, and everybody must listen to him. And that there is no way out, there is no salvation, there is nothing, there will be no light without listening to him. Choose, and the refuse is allowed, and then applying what he reveals to you as part of Torah and Injil. So my brothers, what are we going to do? They have formed a Muslim council forum meeting. But they should understand that there is division of labor. Allah tells Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your responsibility is to deliver the message. It is me to make the judgment. I am nobody else, even in my country. So this is what the West will have in their mind. If this boy or this old man, what he is saying is true, but at least his people could have responded positively. I'm sure that's the reason why they don't consider me as an authority in Islam. Right, correct, but that is the problem of terrorism in Nigeria and all over the Muslim world, because those with the authority, who truly speaking are not interested in or on any worldly position gains, nobody will listen to them. But I look at me saying, yes, I love, I appreciate it, it's wholesome. But what are we going to do? They kicked against importation of Islam, which I have explained so many times. I said, I think it was around 1980s or 1977 when I was a student. I was in Central London Mosque. I was introduced to the imam from Saudi Arabia. Truly speaking, at that particular time, I said, this is rubbish. Why importation? Why? There are Muslims, British Muslims. Why can't you pick one, teach him the Arabic and then the Sunnah? So I was never in favor of importation. Importation was never, they were never correct. Look at an imam coming to Nigeria to open a mosque and then lead the Friday obligatory prayer. Nobody protested. In this town, Kaduna, including myself, I always point out that I didn't know because I was so engaged studying medicine. I don't have time. I confess my mistakes. And then I say, Allah forgive me. Circumstantial. Like Prophet Adam alayhi salam. There's nothing like Adam. I was not determined to be an innovator. I was forced to become an innovator. But now I will never innovate. So, yes, they should train their own imams. But from which source? Because they are still the immigrants from North Africa who don't know anything about Islam. Look at the period Islam was in Egypt, Morocco, and so on and so forth. More than 1,400 and something years, but up to today, they don't know how to pray, how to fast. So if you, French people, or the French government are serious, you have to obey. You have to listen to me. Because success, prosperity, peace is predicated not by Tawheed, but by following the Sunna of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Whatever be your degree of Tawheed, they call it advanced Tawheed, it is rubbish. It has nothing to do with peace, prosperity, love, and the security. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. I think there is this I think it's in Genesis, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam that he has angels to protect him. But if he dares misbehave, he knows the consequences. Follow instructions. Who is following instructions? Why the caliphate? Number 3, they don't read the Arabs. They just assume they are reading. So if you say you will use your immigrants who have naturalized to teach those French people who have accepted Islam, it is the same thing. They will never follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the terrorism will never leave the world. Why not do a litmus test for even a year? Litmus test. Put what is required, the elements of peace, prosperity, and progress on the board, on the corridor. Let us practice it for even 6 months. Let us titrate and see, will there be any progress? If there's no progress, then do exactly what Farah said to Prophet Musa alayhi salam. he is a liar. That his Lord, that the one who he claims sent him is a liar. Because there's nothing, look, that is there in the Bible. Consumption, fire consumed, or it doesn't consume. So why not we test? So what I have been urging Western Europe is labor, distribution of labor. They must supervise the Muslim Ummah, but not practice. See, there's difference between supervision and the practicing it. Why is the indelible, the substance, the moeity, the intrinsic substance, like ferritin? If there is no ferrous, there is anemia, and you can't do anything for blood unless we have ferrous, or ferritin they call it. This is what I'm truly speaking trying to scientifically argue. Why is the basic ingredient, the moiety, the intrinsic, why is SA node? If there is no SA node, why will be propagation? Why is the source of, I don't know whether it has been known, uterine contraction? Why is the focus of it? So there are a lot of things to compare peacefully, logically, sensibly, to say, look, we have to know what we are doing. Why is it? Why are we failing? Because if there's no ferritin, you'll become anemic. If there is no potential difference, ADP conversion, you can't generate electrical activity of the heart muscle. There's no sodium potassium. So depolarization and the repolarization. So this is what I'm trying to argue with the West scientifically. There's nothing else you will ever do to put the Muslims unless you call them, sit down, you prove that they don't know. That is the only way out. So what I'm saying is nothing. You have to prove that you are imams, whether born as French without any conversion, without any immigration, or the immigrants, that they don't know the Sunna of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam practically. You see, faith needs demonstration. Like the slaughter of Ismail is a demonstration of faith. He said he did everything. But now it came to reality. Allah wants to know, to see physically. He says, slaughter your son. The only one he had. Then when he went to, again, Palestine, he had Isaac, slaughter Isaac also. So what are we saying, the two of us? It happened in Mecca. It was repeated in Palestine. So why is the argument of practical demonstration of the reality? So, whether you like it or not, you must have consultants. You have to invite others, because it's not a matter of color, Islam or language. Look at Bilal, black man, given the responsibility to attract, to call even Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to that very, very fundamental, most important pillar: congregation unity, peace, satisfaction. Black man. And I salute him, doffed off my head. He said he will never call prayer to anybody else besides Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Look at all this quality we don't learn. So, both must learn. I have written 11 books, whether you like it or not. It's not a matter of pride. It's truly speaking, I'm not telling lies. They are there, Amazon. 3 books are for the West to understand. Or 4. There is Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the people of the book. His benevolence, kindness, large-heartedness, and the quest of peace. Quest for peace. West must read it, even academically. The next one is a contemporary rational examination of the sciences of the Holy Quran. You can't read the Holy Quran like that without knowing its elements. Like chemistry without knowing. I don't know whether now the atomic table is memorized. But during our time we had memorized atomic table with all their valencies and everything before you can pass any examination in chemistry. My brothers were using what do you call this small hand lens to count serration of leaves. How many serrations? How many venations? You don't just say a leaf without knowing its own property. Even cockroaches, you have to draw everything. Look, this is what is lacking in the Muslim curriculum of education. Everything is Allah, God. You can't see Allah, but you can feel it. You can feel Him. So that is essential for us to read, to understand what is meant by the Holy Quran. I am sure if you ask any Muslim scholar in France about the Holy Quran, he will say it is the words of Allah. But is it actually the words of Allah? I argued that it can't be, because they are the words of believers and disbelievers. They are the word of the devil. They are the statements of the shaitan. So what do you mean by saying that the Holy Quran is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's not justification. So, if you want reality, you have to have the Muslims who actually are able to challenge their own people. They will never answer them. Look, come. What are you? Everything you are. He is the chief pilot, chief instructor. He has gone above all stages of flying. Why can't you honor him? He is honored. But there is no honor in Islam. Today, those who are honored are responsible for terrorism. Definitely. Those who want to remove terrorism are never honored by West and Europe. That book is essential. I just give you one example. Then, the third one is about Islamophobia. The fourth one is about Arab Spring. These 4 books must be read by West in schools as part of general education, or whatever you call it, or humanity. Because we must be one. And we can't be one with inferiority complex and the misinformation. So the second aspect of the book, of my argument, is to teach the Muslim Ummah how to be disciplined, how to make Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as their imam, not even Abu Bakr Siddiq. Not even Abu Bakr Siddiq. The imam is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, alone, nobody else. The teacher is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, alone, nobody else. And this arrogance in disregarding the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he gave you 3 hours or so to observe Zuhur prayer, 3 hours or so to observe Asr prayer, 6 hours or so, no, 3 hours, okay, 6 hours or 9 hours or so, 6 hours or so to observe Isha prayer. You use it as an insult to create confusion, claiming superiority, assuming somebody to be wrong while he is given the opportunity, the right, the privilege to worship Allah at the point of his most convenience, should be stopped. They don't know how to fast. Even fasting, they don't know how to do it properly. So now, division of authority, division of labor requires West, after getting consultants, advisors, not based on color and language, because everybody learns Arabic language. You have to learn it. And this learning is not the learning, it's the learning of the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then we sit down and stop giving those unqualified qualification and recognition. Then West and the whole world will enjoy peace, prosperity, security, and stability. And then the growth is you reach the moon or Jupiter. That is the only way. But what the French government says of Muslim conference, or whatever they call it, forum, Muslim Council forum, meeting, that is what they should actually discuss. There are consultants who want to help us, but we don't know. They are claiming that you don't know. Come and prove it amongst yourself. Who is telling the truth? That is done. Well, I told you to do what Pharaoh said to Moses, that he is a liar. But he said, somebody from him, why should you go and kill somebody? Simply because he has a method. He has the wisdom. He knows what to do to remove injustice. Anything that is harmful, the mind does not like. Probably even a small lightning, however small it is, don't be that because it disturbs your mind. God will remove it. He told you exactly what will save you. If he is a liar, the bush will not consume. Definitely, this is the teaching in the Torah. The bush will not consume. If you still lie, the truth, it will be consumed. Inna Allah la yahdi man huwa musrifun kadhab. What are the false prophets? So I am telling you what is in the Torah. Why should we hate Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Disbelieve in what he says. So again, as I said, it's a wholesome gesture, and I am receiving it with faith and sincerity. It's left for West and Europe to accept me, or we wait and see. Truly speaking, I have confidence. If my advice was ever false, when USA budgeted $80 billion for the war among the Arabs. I said, let them give me 40 billion. There'll not be any war. But how much was spent? I think it 3 trillion. Disgraced Soviet Union. America disgraced Afghanistan. So why is the truth? Why is the lie? Assalamu alaikum.